bus had slid. I told my manager I ain't got my money up for a Uber. I've been there, done that, now I done became a super MC. You niggas know I'm dangerous, so tracks, so don't tempt
me. Lee. My goodness. Ain't cast in a while for the Legendz are forever. Wish my team did better. Wish this year was better. But I've been playing so long, it's all good with me. Like as far as if I don't make the playoffs, you know, I've done it every year that I played. As far back as like with this league, I've made playoffs pretty much every year. But man, I'm not making it this year, man. I lost 2 games. Only the top 6 are getting in. Week 15, 16, and 17 are going to be the playoff. Obviously, week 17 is going to be the championships. But weeks 15 and 16, playoff time, man. So, yeah, unless something drastically happens where I'm somehow able to slide in, I don't think I'm going to make it this year in this league. However, I see some of y'all balling out here. I see some of y'all doing it good this year, man. My guy, Before Rome, is in the mix. He's won it twice in a row in this league. I see my boy Big Goobs holding it down at 9-3. AZ Cowboy fan coming up this year at 8-4. My brother Percy, PW12 at 7-5. Team coming for the crown, who didn't start off so good, came up in number 4. Nil Before Rome, like I said, at number 5 in the mix. My wife over here at Nil Before Rome is at number 5. My wife, J Swin 34, Jessica over here at number 6. Seahawking on you bitches at number 7. Kung Fu Garza 9 at number 8, moving up 2 spots though. I'm coming in at number 9 here, man. I needed to win that last game, and freaking McKissick on Monday night came through for AZ Cowboy fan. Otherwise, I was gonna get that win, and I would have moved up for sure. But she pulled out the win, so, you know, hats off. Man, it's Team Raymond's. Just ain't your year, my guy. At number 10 at 4-8, I know my co-commish, Team Raymond's, is not happy about that at all. Dude is a competitor. He's definitely not happy being where he is. But such is fantasy football. You play this game, and part of it's luck, part of it's skill, part of it's paying attention. And you roll that all together, and, you know, that's fantasy football for you. So we are heading into week 13 right now, and I just went over the rankings. I do want to keep this message going out for you guys, which is to stay the course. Right now, where you're sitting at, if you know you're in the playoffs, you don't necessarily have to make any crazy adjustments or take any crazy risks. Right now is the time you want to stick with your guns and stick with your base players that have been getting you through the season. Look out for some guys that may improve your team, but at the same time, you know, stay the course. Stick with your guns, stick with what you know, and you know, you should be good from there. As far as you players trying to get in, such as myself, you got to take some risks. You really have to pay attention to what your lineup is. Really got to pay attention to your defenses and your kickers. Excuse me, we don't have kickers in this league, but you really have to pay attention to your defense and your other flex spot, because you're able to work some magic with those flex spots. So if you pay attention to that and you line that up correctly, you know, you could pull the rabbit out of a hat. You know what I mean? Had another analogy, but I'm not going to use that one. But yeah, you stay the course, and stay the course for you trying to get into. Stay the course for the players that are still trying to get in to the playoffs. But yeah, make sure you're paying attention and stick with your core, but also realize that you might have somebody out there that you can pick up on waivers that might do your team good, that might put you over the hump. So you got to play around with that extra slot position, and pull some magic out of that one. That's probably going to be your best bet. Try to pull some magic out. I did like this year playing fantasy football. Learned a lot. Learned and enjoyed the wins. I also enjoyed the losses, so to speak. Didn't like them, but sometimes you lose. I lost by 1 point to Big Goobs. I lost to AZ Cowboy Fan with a Monday night. I was up by 19, and her player made up that deficit for her and got her the win. Slight win, but still a win is a win. I see my boy Percy coming back into the fold, playing some fantasy football, doing good this year, sitting at number 3 currently. My wife doing good with her team that I helped pick out, by the way. I'm just going to throw that in there. And just enjoyed watching and seeing what I could have done. Even though that's part of the pain of fantasy football, seeing what you could have done is also like I was just one player away, or I was just this switch out at the flex position, and I would have been good. It's that type of thing. We talk about fantasy football that makes you that gets you that win, or you sustain the losses, so to speak, knowing that your team's not bad. It was just one of those things where your player didn't get enough points where he should have, or the team's player, like McKissick, going off. That's just an example right there. McKissick went off for AZ Cowboy Fan and got her the win on Monday night, made up a deficit. That's part of the things you got to enjoy about this game. Knowing the fact that sometimes, man, you can pull out a win even though it's stacked against you. Sometimes them wins just pull out on Monday night, man, and that's one of the best feelings. I mean, I had a defense that I don't know if it was this league, it might have been the other league, but I don't know. It was 46 points that my defense scored. Let me just go back to week 12 here real quick. Dolphins, my defense scored 46 points for me. And I was like, okay. Robbie Anderson did nothing for me. My boy Kittle didn't do anything for me. Beasley is alright. My running backs suck. I need better running backs next year. Running backs are freaking I don't even know what to call running backs, unicorns, I guess I would say. If you see one, ride one, because them chips on the table, running backs are valuable, man, straight up. And you can find diamonds in the rough sometimes when you look at the running back position. But also with the running back position, you got to pay attention to the depth chart, where are they at in the depth chart, and find those handcuffs to the starters, because your starters are eventually going to go down. Happens every year. You want to look at the backups for the running backs, because I'm guaranteeing you that your starters will go down every year, no matter, because the running back position is a punishing position. The running back position is one of the hardest in football. You're getting hit every time you touch the ball. You're going to get a hit. You're going to absorb a hit. So, with that being said, you got to look at your handcuffs, even the third stringers. You got to look at the third stringers sometimes. And then in the offseason, you damn near have to scout for the running back position for fantasy football to see who you might need that nobody else is looking at. And that's where the fun comes in the offseason. The studying of the NFL, the training camps, the draft that occurs, seeing who's coming up. Because if we turn this into a dynasty league instead of a redraft league, that's going to be a big part of the game, is studying. And it's fun. It can be frustrating if for instance, nobody took, I don't remember anybody talking about Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor's just out there balling. You know what I mean? So if you were studying and you heard about a player coming up, and maybe the rest of the league, or at least half of the league, isn't aware, and you pick up that player, and you play him and he comes through for you, that's one of the best feelings in fantasy football. And it's something that you want to aspire to, I guess I would say. You want to get that type of feeling, and you want to get that type of mentality as a fantasy football owner, that this is something that you should be doing every year, and paying attention to the offseason, paying attention to the drafts, and then paying attention to depth charts, because, again, it goes back to running backs being fragile because of the position. You're bound to get hurt. Look at Derrick Henry, big dude, got hurt. Look at CMC, balling most of the time, got hurt, not the same. So I think the running back position is one that sort of rotates as far as, in fantasy football anyway, as far as who you can rely upon. Moving to wide receiver, I think my wide receivers are good. I like my wide receivers. I pay attention to wide receivers a little bit more simply because of the touchdown factor. Look at Kendrick Bourne as an example of him changing from the 49ers to the Patriots, getting with a good young quarterback in Mac Jones, and coming up. He didn't get the touches and opportunities that he has now with the Patriots that, when he was with the 49ers, he's not getting the same type of attention that he's getting now with Mac Jones. And, that's a good thing for that dude, because I saw potential in him when he was on our team, and I saw how good he was and how he could be applied. He just didn't fit on our depth chart. But once you switch him over to another team that's needy for a player like that, you see a consistent and good player, basically rise up, I guess you would say. And then you have the old reliables. You have the Tyreek Hills. You have the Keenan Allens out there. I think the wide receiver position is more consistent from year to year than the running back position, because with the wide receivers, you're not necessarily getting hit every play. Most of your injuries might have to do with strains, hamstrings, groins, such as my boy Debo. And then most of them are able to work through the little hand things that might happen sometimes. It's a little bit more rare for hands to get hurt for wide receivers because they're just, you're used to using your hands catching the football. I think their hands are a little bit tougher. So, mostly don't see hand injuries, but you will see those strains with the legs because they're doing a lot of running. So I think with the wide receiver position, it's definitely more consistent from year to year than the running back position. And that's why I like picking good wide receivers. But next year, I definitely have to look into finding some good running backs to go along with my good wide receivers. Quarterback position, when you look at it from year to year, you have the old guard, like the Russell Wilsons, the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Matt Ryans. The only thing that's probably an exception to the rule is Tom Brady. When you look at the quarterback position, I tend to look at young players coming up instead of the old guard, which is why I got Justin Herbert. Simply because those dudes have some fresh legs and they have that enthusiasm of being in the NFL, and they want to prove themselves. So I like picking young quarterbacks versus the old guard. If I do pick a second quarterback, it'll most likely be not necessarily of the old variety. It'll probably be in the middle. Guys that have been the league like 5 years or so, something like that. I tend to try and get those as my backups rather than the old dudes, because them old dudes sometimes they just fail, man. Their arms are shot. They don't have the spark anymore. Quarterback position is probably the toughest position in any sport. So I try to find the young ones when we talk about that. And it's come through for me. I had Lamar Jackson when he first, set the league on fire, man. And he got me to third place in my other league. So, and I was like coming from the bottom in that one. But yeah, quarterback position is tricky as well. You can stream quarterback sometimes because you don't necessarily have to stick with your guy all the time. Say your guy's not necessarily doing the work that he should be for you. You know, sometimes you can stream a quarterback and find somebody who's more consistent, such as like a Kirk Cousins, as an example. And with that position, I always like to also find consistency, because you want your dude that's always touching the ball to at least give you a consistent baseline, because that's gonna set, you know, your base out, and it's gonna set how your points might stack up, right? Because obviously, if you look at it, the quarterbacks are always scoring the most points when it comes to fantasy football. Shifting to tight ends a little bit. Tight ends are like, there's only like a handful that are good. So if you can find a good tight end, I suggest you hang on to him. You saw Kelsey Kittle being drafted in like the first round. Sometimes like as people's first players, because of the importance of the tight end position. You know, tight ends you want your tight ends to get you at least 10 plus as far as points are concerned. But the problem with tight ends is the fact that there are only, you know, a handful that are good, and that will come through for you. Kickers, skip kickers, because that's why I got rid of them. I don't like the inconsistency of kickers, so that's why I got rid of them. I've been wanting to get rid of kickers for like the last 3 seasons. Finally pulled the trigger on it and did it. So I hope you guys are enjoying the extra slot position. You're welcome, because kickers suck. Defenses, you can stream defenses all day, every day, but finding a good one with a good matchup is something I'm always looking for when I am setting my lineup, man. Like I said, man, them Dolphins pulled out 46 points for me, man, which more than made up the garbage that some of my other players put out there for me. But yeah, man, it's been a season. It's been fun. I'm glad I've been running this league for as long as I have. I'm glad for the new people that have come on to play. Definitely appreciative of everybody that's been with me since like the first year. All the homies. Jet, been playing with Jet for a long time. Lance, been playing with Lance for a long time. In other leagues, that's why I'm saying it like that. And yeah, man, let's just keep playing. Still got some games to go. Keep paying attention to your lineups. Keep paying attention to what's going on in the league. A lot of COVID's popping up that you might not be aware of. Some injuries that occur that you need to be on top of. And no waivers for teams that are not in the playoffs. So once the playoffs start, if you're not in the playoffs, you are not allowed to pick up any players off of the waiver, because it doesn't matter for you. So if you're not in the playoffs, do not pick up waivers anymore. That's only for playoff teams. All right. So it's been a good league. We still got some ways to go, man. Pay attention. I'm trying to get up in the playoffs, man. I belong there. I'm the commish. Shoot. Ball out.
Y'all niggas want smoke with the big bad wolf. Come and try your luck. If you clip the wrong cord, blow the soda, split the rings, we too wired up. I be riding through the city with a couple hoes on me. I'm a fire truck, hey your whole hood putting lighters up. Never knew your mom with the quiet as much. Keep it quiet, son. I need silence, I need focus. Peel off in that locust. Your bitch buzzing, she locust. Take a lesson, watch her lady, but now with the dopest. Box a nigga like he's stoked. Roll it up and then I smoke him. It wasn't that potent.
This is my boy Merkums from Arizona. He dope. All right, League. Have a good week. Let's have a good weekend of football. Y'all be safe. Peace.